Hello friends, welcome to this video lectures of experimental stress analysis. My name is Avinash Parke from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sweris College of Engineering, Pandharpur. So today we'll discuss about the chapter number 6 of experimental stress analysis, that is strain measurement, part 3. So in this particular chapter, means in the part number 3, we are going to study the configurations of the Wheatstone bridge circuit. So in the part number 2 of the same chapter, we have discussed about the basic construction and the working principle of Wheatstone bridge circuit. Then we have discussed about the basic formula or the output of the Wheatstone bridge circuit, in which we have derived a formula for the E0, which represents the output of bridge circuit. And then we have discussed about the configuration. So in the part 2 of the same chapter, we have discussed about the one configuration, that is single arm sensitive bridge circuit. Now we'll discuss about the remaining two configurations, that is two arm sensitive bridge circuit and the three arm sensitive bridge circuit. So already we have discussed in the single arm why it is called as a single arm sensitive bridge circuit, because in the Wheatstone bridge circuit, out of the four arms, only one strain gauge is attached or only one arm is sensitive. Therefore that circuit is called as a single arm sensitive bridge circuit. Similarly, why the bridge circuit is called as a two arm sensitive bridge circuit? Because out of the four arms, two arms are sensitive. That means the two strain gauges are attached in the Wheatstone bridge circuit. Therefore this is called as a two arm sensitive bridge circuit. Similarly, what is meant by the four arm sensitive bridge circuit? So out of the four arms, all the arms of the Wheatstone bridge circuit are sensitive. Means if the four strain gauges are simultaneously used, then that bridge circuit is called as a Wheatstone bridge circuit. So one by one we'll discuss about the two arm sensitive bridge circuit and the four arm sensitive bridge circuit. So this two arm sensitive bridge circuit is furtherly, it is divided into the two types as per the nature of the strain gauges. Because as we know that in the Wheatstone bridge circuit, so out of the four arms, the two arms are behaved similarly. That means out of the four arms, the two arms are behaved in tension and remaining two arms are behaved in the compression. So and already we have considered that the arm number 1 and the arm number 4 is subjected to tension, and the arm number 2 and the arm number 3 is subjected to compression. And based on this particular natures of the strain gauges, this two arm sensitive bridge circuit is furtherly divided into the two types. That is the two arm sensitive bridge circuit, that is behaves similarly. That means two strain gauges are subjected to the tension, and simultaneously the two strain gauges are subjected to the compression. So like that we have to derive the derivations for the two arm sensitive bridge circuit. So one by one we'll start with this. Now we'll start with the two arm sensitive bridge circuit. So the first type in the two arm sensitive bridge circuit, that is two arm sensitive bridge circuit with same in magnitude and opposite in nature. So what this particular statement indicates, same in magnitude, means whatever the two strain gauges are used in the Wheatstone bridge circuit, so that both the strain gauges are having the same magnitude. Means if the strain gauge number 1 is having the 350 ohm resistance, at that time the strain gauge 2, it is also having the same resistance value, that is 350 ohm. Therefore the both strain gauges are same in magnitude, but both the strain gauges are opposite in nature. So whatever the strain gauges are in front of each other, they are behaved similarly, but whatever the strain gauges are adjacent to each other, they are not behaved similarly. That means here the strain gauge number 1 and the strain gauge number 2 are adjacent to each other. Therefore the strain gauge 1 is behaved in tension and the strain gauge 2 is behaved in compression. Therefore the both strain gauges are opposite in nature. So that condition is also explained by this particular application. That is, one cantilever beam is there which is fixed at one end, another end is free. So if the load is applied at the free end, so the upper portion of this particular cantilever beam is subjected to the tension. At the same time, the lower portion of this particular cantilever beam is subjected to compression. That means both the strain gauges are behaved in different manner. That is, strain gauge number 1, which is pasted at the top, it behaves in tension, At the same time, the strain gauge 2 is pasted at the bottom side and it behaves in compression, means the resistance of strain gauge is goes on increasing due to tension, and the resistance of strain gauge 2 is decreases due to the compression. Therefore, this particular condition is called as a two arm sensitive bridge circuit with same in magnitude and the opposite in nature, and this particular condition will be verified by this particular bridge circuit. Now we have to put this particular value of strain gauge 1 and the strain gauge 2 in the E0 equation to find out the output of this particular two arm sensitive bridge circuit for this particular condition. So as per the requirement, we have to put the value of strain gauges, that is R1, in this particular E0 equation. Similarly, I have to put the strain gauge value of strain gauge 2, that is R2, in the same equation. So what that particular indicates, so the first condition is R1. R1 represents the resistance of strain gauge 1, which is equal to R plus delta R. So what this particular capital R represents, this R represents the resistance of strain gauge before application of load, and this delta R represents the resistance of strain gauge 1 after the application of load. That means before application resistance is capital R, after the application of load the resistance of strain gauge will get changed and it becomes delta R. And why it is plus, that is R plus delta R, because strain gauge 1 is subjected to tension, means the resistance is increases. At the same time, due to the same load, as we know that the strain gauge 2 is pasted at the bottom side, so I have to calculate the value of resistance R2. Therefore R2 is equal to again capital R minus delta R. Again this particular capital R represents the resistance of strain gauge 2 before application of load, because before the application of load all the resistance are having the same value. Therefore this R condition is common in the R1 equation, similarly in the R2 equation, and this delta R represents the change in resistance after the application of load. But as we know that from this particular circuit diagram and from this particular application, the strain gauge 2 is under the compression, therefore the resistance is decreases from the original resistance value, that is R is the resistance of strain gauge before application of load, and this delta represents the resistance of strain gauge after application of load. But here, as the strain gauge 2 is subjected to the compression, the resistance is decreases from this particular R, therefore this sign is taken as a negative. That means strain gauge number 1 is subjected to the tension, so we have calculated R plus delta R. The strain gauge 2 subjected to compression, according to that compression we have calculated the value of R2 is equal to R minus delta R because of compression. And what about remaining two arms on which the resistance R3 and R4 is there? So whatever the resistors are mounted on the arm number 3 and arm number 4, so these are the fixed resistor. So in this particular R3 and R4, before application and after application of load, the resistance will not change because these two resistors are the fixed resistor. Therefore R3 is equal to R4 is equal to R. So whatever the fixed resistors are provided in the Wheatstone bridge circuit, that fixed resistors we have to take the value as a capital R, because that capital R will not change before application of load and after application of load, which is applicable only for this fixed resistors. Now what we have to do, whatever the conditions I have calculated from the bridge circuit, so I have to put this particular value of R1, R2, R3 and R4 in this particular E0 equation. So what happens, just see here. So I will put the value of R1. So what is the value of R1? I have put here R plus delta R. Then at the denominator again R1 is there. Then again R plus delta R, plus the value of R2 is also calculated. So this plus sign is as it is, R minus delta R as it is. So this minus sign is also as it is. Instead of R3 I have to take the capital R, and again R3 plus R4, but R3 is equal to R4 is equal to capital R. Therefore R plus R, instead of that I have written directly to R. Then at the numerator I have to write this R plus delta R as it is. This epsilon S is present outside the bracket. So from this particular denominator, so here plus delta R is there, here minus delta R is there. So this plus delta R minus delta R, it will get cancelled. So at the denominator the value is remains only 2R. This minus sign is as it is, and again this r upon 2r we have to write as it is. Now if you go through this particular denominator values, so already the denominator are same in the both the equations, so need not required to make the denominator same. So I have to write 2r is as it is, but at the top of at the numerator sides we have to take the subtraction, that is r plus delta r as it is. So minus this r is I have written as it is. So once again this plus r, this minus r, it will get cancelled. So finally equation becomes E0 is equal to Es in bracket this delta r upon 2r. But as we have to find out this particular E0 value in terms of k into epsilon, so to obtain this particular equation in the form of k into epsilon, what is our requirement? We have to divide by capital R to the numerator as well as denominator. So if I will divide by capital R to the numerator, so that equation becomes delta r upon r. Similarly, I have to divide by capital R, that is 2r upon r, and as we know that this delta r upon r is equal to k into epsilon. So we have derived this particular value from the gauge factor definition. So instead of this delta r upon r, I have written the k into epsilon, and from the denominator sides this r it will get cancelled, only 2 is remaining, and the final equation is E0 is equal to Es in bracket k into epsilon divided by 2. So this is the output of Wheatstone bridge circuit for the two arm sensitive bridge circuit. That means instead of using the single strain gauges, here I have used the two strain gauges, and due to that number of strain gauges increases from 1 to 2, the output of the bridge circuit will get changed. If we compare this particular E0 output with the single arm sensitive bridge circuit, so what is the formula for the single arm? That is E0 is equal to Es in bracket k into epsilon divided by 4. So this 4 is divided for the single arm sensitive bridge circuit, but for the two arm sensitive bridge circuit, this dividing factor will get changed, and equation becomes E0 is equal to Es in bracket k into epsilon divided by 2. So if I will compare the output of single arm sensitive bridge circuit and the two arm sensitive bridge circuit, from that comparison it has been clear that the output of the two arm sensitive bridge circuit is twice than single arm sensitive bridge circuit. That means if we are increasing the number of strain gauges in any application or in Wheatstone bridge circuit, the output of this particular bridge circuit or output of this particular instrument or output of that particular component is also increases. So this is the output of the two arm sensitive bridge circuit, and for the condition same in magnitude, opposite in nature. Now we have to discuss about the second condition in the same two arm sensitive bridge circuits. What is that condition? Same in magnitude, same in nature. So what is meant by the same in magnitude? Once again, the strain gauge 1 and the strain gauge 2 both are having the same magnitude. For example, the 350 ohm. So at the same time, this R3 and R2 are also having the same resistance value, that is 350 ohm. If all the arms are having the resistance value 350 ohm before application of load, then and then only bridge balancing is possible, and this E0 will show the zero output. But after the application of load, the resistance of strain gauge 1 and the strain gauge 2 only it will get changed, but resistance R2 and R3 are same because these two are the fixed resistors. So the same in magnitudes means the strain gauge number 1 and the strain gauge number 2 are having the same magnitude and same in nature. So both the strain gauges are behaved similarly. That means the strain gauge number 1 is mounted on the arm number 1, strain gauge 2 is mounted on the arm number 4, and the arms or the strain gauges which are in front of each other, they are behaved similarly. So here arm number 1 and arm number 4 are in front of each other, means strain gauge 1 and strain gauge 2 are in front of each other and they are behaved similarly, means the strain gauge 1 and the strain gauge 2 are subjected to tension. And this particular condition or this particular circuit is also explained by the same example of the cantilever beam. That is, one cantilever beam is there, it is subjected to the load at free end. So after the application of load, the upper portion of the strain gauge is subjected to the tension, and whatever the two strain gauges are mounted at the top, that is strain gauge 1 is also pasted at the top of the cantilever beam. At the same position or at the top side only, the strain gauge 2 is also pasted. That means both the strain gauges are subjected to tension. So that condition is also represented by the circuit, that strain gauge 1 and the strain gauge 2 are subjected to tension. And by using these particular conditions, I have to define, or I have to calculate the value of R1, R2, R3 and R4. So once again I will calculate the value of R1, R2, R3 and R4. So if you go through the conditions, that is R1 is equal to R plus delta R. Why it is equal to R plus delta R? Because R represents the resistance of strain gauge before application of load, delta R represents the resistance of strain gauge after application of load. And why this plus sign indicates? Because the strain gauge 1 is subjected to tension. Therefore R before the application of load, delta R after application of load, and due to the tension the resistance is increases. At the same time, whatever the strain gauge 2 is provided, it is provided on the arm number 4. So arm number 4 or the strain gauge 2 is also subjected to tension. Therefore R4 is equal to R plus delta R. Once again, this capital R represents the resistance of strain gauge before application of load. Again, this delta R represents the resistance of strain gauge after application of load, and this plus sign represents the strain gauge 2 is subjected to tension. So if you go through the figure, the R1 and R4 both are behaved similarly, means both are subjected to the tension. Therefore R1 is equal to R4 is equal to R plus delta R, because both are subjected to tension. But this R2 and R3, these are the fixed resistors. So in this particular resistance value there is not any change, because before application and after application of load, this R2 and R3 remains same. Therefore this R3 is equal to R2 is equal to capital R. And this particular conditions we have to put in the E0 equation to calculate the output of the two arm sensitive bridge circuit for the condition same in magnitude, same in nature. So if I will put this particular three values in the E0 equation, so instead of R1 I have to put the R plus delta R. So the equation becomes E0 is equal to ES in bracket, instead of R1 R plus delta R. At the denominator once again R1 is there, so R plus delta R. Instead of R2, as this is the fixed resistor, so I have to write the capital R, this minus sign as it is. Then R3, this is also fixed resistor, so I have to write the capital R, I have written. Then R3 is equal to, again it is fixed resistor, so capital R as it is, this plus sign as it is. R4, this is the strain gauge 2 which behaves in tension. Already I have calculated value, R4 is equal to R plus delta R. So the equation becomes E0 is equal to ES in bracket, this numerator term as it is R plus delta R. So for the denominator, this R plus R, 2R, that is 2R plus this delta R as it is, this minus sign is also as it is. So again at the numerator this capital R as it is, at the denominator once again this R plus R, 2R plus this delta R as it is. So if you go through this particular equation, 2R plus delta R, 2R plus delta R, this term is common at the denominator side, so need not required to make the denominator same. So once I have written the equation E0 is equal to ES in bracket for making the denominator same, that is 2R plus delta R as it is presents, and at the numerator we have to take the subtraction, that is R plus delta R as it is, this minus R is also as it is. So this is the plus R minus R from this particular numerator, it will get cancelled. So the equation becomes E0 in bracket, sorry, E0 is equal to ES in bracket delta R upon 2R plus delta R. But after making the denominator same, after cancelling all the terms, you will get the equation in the form of delta R. But we have to calculate the output of the bridge circuit in the form of K into epsilon. So what is our requirement? We have to divide by capital R to both numerator and the denominator. So if I will divide to this particular equation by the capital R, so the equation becomes E0 is equal to ES in bracket this delta R upon R, that means R is divided at the numerator. Similarly at the denominator, 2R upon capital R plus delta R upon capital R. And as we know that from the gauge factor we are having the value of delta R upon R is equal to K into epsilon. So replace this particular delta R upon R in the form of K into epsilon. I have written at the numerator side. From the denominator, this R it will get cancelled. So this only 2 is remaining, plus once again delta R upon R I have written in the form of K into epsilon. But as we know that whatever the K into epsilon terms are present at the denominator, we have to neglect all the K into epsilon terms from the denominator. So from this particular equation, by neglecting this K into epsilon from the denominator, the final equation becomes E0 is equal to ES in bracket K into epsilon divided by 2, and this is the output of 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit when it is subjected to same in magnitude and the same in nature. So output of the 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit for the both conditions means same in magnitude, opposite in nature, and same in magnitude and same in nature. For these both conditions, the output is remain same, means whether strain gauges are behaved similarly or whether strain gauges are behaved in opposite manner, that condition will not be affect on the Wheatstone bridge circuit. But for both the conditions, we'll get the same formula, but in the both the condition, the output of 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit is twice than single arm sensitive bridge circuit. So this is the derivations of the 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit uh, in the condition of same in magnitude, opposite in nature, and same in magnitude and same in nature. So this is the output of the 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit. Now we'll discuss about the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit. Now the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit. So why it is called as a 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit? Because out of the 4 arms of the Wheatstone bridge circuit, all the 4 arms are sensitive, means all the arms are subjected to the 4 strain gauges. That means strain gauge number 1 is mounted on the arm number 1, the strain gauge 2 is mounted on the arm number 2, the strain gauge 3 is mounted on the arm number 3, and the strain gauge 4 is mounted on the arm number 4. That means there is no any fixed resistor provided in the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit. Therefore this particular circuit is called as a 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit in which the 4 strain gauges are used. And this condition or this particular circuit is also represented by this particular cantilever applications, that is the strain gauge number 1 and the strain gauge number 4 are behaved similarly. That means both are subjected to the tension, therefore they are pasted at the top of cantilever beam. Similarly the strain gauge 2 and the strain gauge 3 are behaved similarly, means both are subjected to the compression, therefore the strain gauge 2 and the strain gauge 3 are pasted at the bottom side of the cantilever beam, which is shown by this particular figure. Now it is our requirement. I have to calculate the output of the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit, and I have to compare this output of the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit with the 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit and the single arm sensitive bridge circuit, and from that comparison I have to obtain that conclusion, that is whether 4-arm is more sensitive or 2-arm is more sensitive or the single arm sensitive bridge circuit is more sensitive. So for that purpose, initially again we have to derive the derivation for the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit, but to derive that particular derivations I have to calculate the value of R1 to R4. That means R1 and R4 are subjected to the tension, therefore I have to calculate the value of R1 and R4. Similarly R2 and R3 are subjected to the compression. Once again I have to calculate these values of R2 and R3, and I have to put all those values in the E0 equation to find out the output of the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit. So if you go through this particular figure, and from that figure I will calculate the values. That is, if you go through the figure, the strain gauge number 1 and the strain gauge number 4 are subjected to the tension, means the resistance is increases in the strain gauge number 1 and the strain gauge number 4, and from that equation or from that condition the R1 is equal to R4 because both are subjected to the tension, which is equal to R plus delta R. Once again this capital R resistance before application of load, this delta represents resistance after application of load, and this plus sign represents that is the strain gauge 1 and 4 are subjected to tension. Similarly, from the figure, the strain gauge 2 and the strain gauge 3 are subjected to the compression, means the resistance is decreases in the strain gauge number 2 and the strain gauge number 3, and their values are written in the form of R2 is equal to R3 because both are subjected to the compression, which is equal to capital R. That is, once again, capital R represents the resistance before application of load, and this delta R represents resistance after application of load, but this negative sign represents the resistance is decreases because 2 and 3 are subjected to the compression. But this capital R and this capital R, this particular condition is common in the strain gauge number 1, 2, 3 and 4, because this capital R represents the resistance of strain gauge after application of load, and this delta R is also remains common, that is resistance of strain gauges after application of load. But this plus sign is very important because 1 and 4 are subjected to the tension, and this negative sign is very important because 2 and 3 are subjected to compression. Now for the further derivations, what we have to do, we have to put this all the values in the E0 equations. So after the putting all this value in this particular equations, what we'll get, that is E0 is equal to Es in bracket. So instead of R1, R plus delta R, again once again at the denominator R1 is present. Once again R1 is equal to R plus delta R, this plus sign as it is. Instead of R2, I have to write R minus delta R, so in bracket R minus delta R, this minus sign as it is. Again in the second equation, this R3 is present, value of R3 is equal to R minus delta R, at the numerator I have written. Then again at the denominator R3 is present, so in bracket once again R3 is equal to R minus delta R, I have written, plus sign as it is, and R4 is equal to R plus delta R, so I have written R plus delta R. And now by cancelling some of the terms, so if you go through this particular denominator side, so E0 is equal to Es in bracket numerator term as it is R plus delta R divided by, so if you go through this particular denominator side, here plus delta R minus delta R, it will get cancelled, only plus R plus R, it becomes 2R. I have written the 2R at the denominator, minus sign as it is, again at the numerator R minus delta R as it is. Once again at the denominator side, this is the minus, this is minus delta R, this is plus delta R, it will get cancelled, only plus R plus R, it becomes 2R. Once again I have written only 2R at the denominator. So once again if you go through this particular equation, this 2R and this 2R are present at the both the denominator sides, so need not required to go for the cross multiplication to making the denominator same. By writing this 2R as it is at the denominator, you will get the equation E0 is equal to Es in bracket. This 2R I have written as it is by making the denominator same, but at the numerator sides we have to take the subtraction. So this R plus delta R as it is, this minus is also as it is, and if I will give this minus sign inside to this particular bracket, so this minus and this minus, here it becomes plus, therefore minus R is that is, this minus minus it becomes plus, so plus delta R divided by 2R. Once again if you go through this particular numerator, this is plus R minus R, it will get cancelled, only terms are remaining, plus delta R plus delta R, it is equal to 2 delta R. So I will get the equation, that is E0 is equal to Es in bracket delta R plus delta R, 2 delta R divided by 2R. So from the numerator and the denominator, this 2 and this 2, it will get cancelled, only I will get the equation E0 is equal to Es in bracket delta R upon R. But as we know that from the gauge factor, once again the delta R upon R is equal to K into epsilon, and by replacing this particular delta R upon R into K into epsilon, I will get the equation E0 is equal to Es in bracket K into epsilon, and this is the output, that is E0 is equal to Es in bracket K into epsilon, and this equation represents the output of 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit. So if I will compare this output of the 4-arm sensitive bridge circuit with the 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit, so output of the 2-arm sensitive bridge circuit is E0 is equal to Es into K into epsilon divided by 2. But for the 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit, there is no divide by 4, there is no divide by 2, only I will get the K into epsilon term. Means after the comparison of 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit and the 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit, we can say that the output of 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit is twice than output of 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit. Means once again, if I will increases the number of strain gauges from 2 to 4, again the output of the Wheatstone bridge circuit is increases, and it is twice than 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit. So this is about the 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit, in which the 4 strain gauges are used simultaneously, and from that we have derived the output, that is E0 is equal to Es into K into epsilon. And from this particular 4 configurations, we can say that if the number of strain gauges are increases from 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, the output of that particular bridge circuit is also increases. And from all this particular 4 derivation, we can find one conclusion, that is the output of 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit is twice than single arm sensitive bridge circuit, and the output of 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit is twice than 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit. Means 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit is sensitive than single arm sensitive bridge circuit, and the 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit is more sensitive than 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit as well as single arm sensitive bridge circuit, because in the 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit the 4 strain gauges are used instead of using the single arm sensitive bridge circuit, or instead of using the single strain gauge, or instead of using the 2 strain gauges. So this is about the 4 basic configurations of the Wheatstone bridge circuit, in which we have studied about the single arm sensitive bridge circuit, 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit for same in magnitude, opposite in nature, and same in magnitude and same in nature, and last derivation or last configurations we have discussed about the 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit. So in all this particular 4 Wheatstone bridge circuit, whatever the strain gauges we have considered, so all these strain gauges are subjected to the linear strain gauges. Why it is called as the linear strain gauges? Because in single arm sensitive bridge circuit, only one strain gauge is there which is pasted in the direction of force, therefore that strain gauge is also considered as a linear. In 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit, whatever the 2 strain gauges are used, maybe at the top of the cantilever beam, maybe at the bottom of the cantilever beam, or both the strain gauges at the top of cantilever beam, both the strain gauges are subjected to the linear strain gauges, because both the strain gauges are pasted in the direction of force. Similarly, in the 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit, whatever the 4 strain gauges I have pasted at the top of cantilever beam and at the bottom of the cantilever beam, all the 4 strain gauges are pasted in the direction of force, and whatever the resistance will get changed in the direction of force, so all those resistance are called as a linear change in resistance, or all the strains are induced in all those particular configurations are called as a linear strain gauges. Therefore in this particular 4 configurations, what assumptions we have considered, all the strain gauges in the single arm, 2 arm and 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit are subjected to the linear strain gauges. But as we know that in many of application, if the force is applied in x direction, the strain is also developed in x direction, as well as some amount of strain is also developed in the y direction and the z direction. So what is our requirement? As the force is applied in x direction and I have to measure the strain in y direction, so what is my requirement? I have to paste one strain gauge in that y direction. Means if the strain gauge number 1 is pasted in x direction and the strain gauge number 2 is pasted in y direction, so whatever the second strain gauge is pasted in the y direction, that strain gauge is called as a lateral strain gauges. If such types of the lateral strain gauges are provided or introduced in the Wheatstone bridge circuit, how the output of that particular bridge circuit will get changed? Means once again we have to derive the 3 derivations for the 2 arm sensitive bridge circuit, in which one linear strain gauge and one lateral strain gauge is there. Similarly, we have to derive the derivation for the 4 arm sensitive bridge circuit, but out of the 4 arms, the two strain gauges are behaves linearly and remaining two strain gauges are behaves laterally. Means in the four-arm sensitive bridge circuit, the two linear strain gauges are there and the two lateral strain gauges are there. If such types of the linear and lateral strain gauges are introduced or provided in any application or in any Wheatstone bridge circuit, how the output of that particular bridge circuit will get changed, that we have to study in the next part of this particular chapter. So this is about the configurations of the two arm sensitive bridge circuit and the four arm sensitive bridge circuit. So this is about the part number 3 of this particular chapter number 6, in which we have discussed about the two arm sensitive bridge circuit and the four arm sensitive bridge circuit, in which all the strain gauges are subjected to the linear strain gauges. Now in the part number 4 we'll discuss about the same configurations, but if the strain gauges are subjected to the linear and the strain gauges are subjected to the lateral, how the output of that particular bridge circuit will get changed, that part we'll see in the next part of this particular chapter, that is in part number 4. Thank you.